back today again with some more Pokemon X and Y. Now today I have an OU match. Looking at my team, some very, very different Pokemon than we are used to seeing. Most definitely, I mean, Honchkrow? Terrakion? Tentacruel? Lots of different things. Looking at my opponent's team, very different as well. Weezing not being seen too often in OU, and same with Haxorus. I don't really see too many Haxorus in OU, even though it is fairly fast and pretty damn strong. It is one powerful Pokemon. But let's go ahead and get on into this battle. This was a battle I had against Stardust on my stream, and it was definitely a fun one. There will be some parts that I will be speeding up, because it is a fairly long battle at 31 turns, but you know what? That's just how it's going to roll. So he leads off, he or she, I'm not sure. Yeah, I believe it is a he. He leads off with his Sableye. I lead off with my Tentacruel. I'm actually going to go for the Sludge Wave first turn because I thought that he was going to taunt me, which would have been the better option, considering this Tentacruel does set up Toxic Spikes. Now, I do have to be careful because he does have a Zapdos, and the Zapdos could possibly have Defog. So there's one option, you know, one possibility that I do have to be careful about. Excuse me. But he does not switch out, so I am free to get my 2 layers of Toxic Spikes up. So that way, if he switches in his Sableye, it will be completely poisoned. I will not have to really deal with it too much. It can still stall me a little bit. It can use Recover, but eventually there won't be anything that it can do. Because the toxic damage will start adding up fairly quickly at that point. So I switch in my Terrakion. He's going to switch out his Gooder. He goes out into his Weezing here. Now I'm pretty afraid of this thing because it could possibly have Will-O-Wisp. Weezing are pretty known to carry some Will-O-Wisp. Now I'm going to go for another Stone Edge. I do get a crit, but I'm pretty sure I rolled Min on that crit because it definitely should have killed. But thank God he went for the Sludge Bomb, predicting me to switch into something else to absorb the Will-O-Wisp. So that's a good move on my part. But I do get poisoned. I am going to go for another Stone Edge, but I miss a Stone Edge, and this guy hits a Thunder? That doesn't make any sense. That should never happen. Ever. It's bull. That's seriously bull. I've never really talked about this too much, but I really, really love the way they did the animation of the smoke, or smog, rather, that comes out of Weezing. It's very, very different. Not something I really would expect to see from Game Freak or Nintendo, really. But it is a nice touch, and if you really pay attention to those sorts of things, it's very beautiful at that point. I go out into my Landorus, he goes out into his Zapdos. Right now, I'm fearing that he is going to defog, so I'm actually going to go for the most powerful move I have, which is Sludge Wave, knowing that HP Ice will not be doing as much. Of course, that Zapdos has HP Ice and easily takes out my Landorus, which is quite unfortunate for me. Obviously, the Zapdos is carrying some special attack investment because I'm pretty sure I would have lived. Now, I do go for the Sucker Punch here on the Zapdos, trying to kill the thing, but the dude goes for Roost, which is rather unfortunate, but at least it was not Defog. Now I'm going to go for Sucker Punch again. And seeing how much damage this Sucker Punch does, it's pretty obvious to me that the Zapdos does not really have too much investment defense-wise, if any at all. I can judge that based on how much my Sludge Wave did. If the Zapdos were specially defensive, my Sludge Wave would have not done near as much. And my Sucker Punch definitely would not have done as much if he were defensive, so that's how I'm basically able to base that. I am going to go out into my Scizor now, hoping that this thing does not have, you know, any strange attacks like Overheat or anything like that. Overheat. Heat Wave. Jesus, can't even speak. But Bullet Punch is able to take it out, which is quite nice because I don't have to deal with that thing anymore. Now he goes out into his Sableye, probably forgetting that I do have Toxic Spikes up. And I'm able to poison the thing. Fully poisoned, so it is going to be racking up poison damage quite quickly. I'm actually going to switch out, go into my Hentai, which is my Tentacruel, predicting the Will-O-Wisp, and it was a great prediction, and thankfully he actually missed, so that it's another turn that he has to either waste going for Will-O-Wisp again, or switching out or doing something else. He goes out into Touch Me, which is his Goodra once again. And that thing is also going to be poisoned by my Toxic Spikes. So that is also very good because Goodra, as you can see, probably took about 5 damage from that Scald, if even that. Now it is resisted. Had I gone for Sludge Wave, it would have done a little bit more, but you never know. Scald at that point to me was the best option to go for. So I'm going to go out into Get Cut, predicting this thing to go for Thunderbolt again. And, Rotom is strong. Rotom is very, very powerful, especially when you run Modest Choice specs. Now, I am going to go for the Volt Switch, which is resisted on the Goodra, so it's not going to be doing too much. But considering it's Volt Switch, that was a decent amount of damage. I'm not sure what item this Goodra is carrying. From what I can tell, it is more than likely Assault Vest, just basing off how much damage my Rotom was able to do to the thing. But as you can see, the toxic damage is starting to add up quite quickly. I'm actually going to go for a Sludge Wave here, just to get some damage off. I was kind of playing with him, with my Rotom and my Tentacruel, and he actually went for a Fire Blast there, predicting me to go back out into my Rotom. And, it was a good play for me to stay in. I love when I am able to really, really play mind games with my opponent. It's very fun. It's what makes Pokemon interesting. If you're able to play mind games with your opponent, I really, really recommend you do so because it is more fun than anything you'll basically be able to do in Pokemon. Knowing exactly what your opponent is going to do, taking advantage of that, and completely screwing with them. It is so much fun. Now this Haxorus is able to take out my Tentacruel, and it does have Mold Breaker, so I have to be careful when I send in my Rotom because this thing can't Earthquake. Now it is going to be neutral damage because I am a Rotom C, but it is still going to do a lot of damage as Earthquake has 100 base power. I'm going to go out into my Scizor now, knowing that I can eat up that Earthquake, go for a Bug Bite, get some crazy damage off on that thing. He's going to switch out, trying to preserve his Haxorus. Goes out into Blastoise, which is a very good play, predicting me to go for the Bullet Punch. Good job. You made a good play. That's all I can say. Bullet Punch is not going to be doing squat to that thing. Actually, it did a little bit more than I remember it doing, but the toxic damage is starting to add up on the Blastoise now too, which is great. Because the easier I can kill these things and the quicker I can kill these things, the better. That's how Pokemon works, I suppose. Now he goes for Ice Beam, predicting me to go out into my Rotom, which is great for me because it is going to allow me to get off a Bug Bite, which is going to do even more crazy damage to that Blastoise. Now this Blastoise has basically no HP left. I honestly thought about switching out here, but I knew that Bullet Punch would probably kill from where it was at, so it was safe to go for. Also, that Blastoise outsped me. I don't know what Mega Blastoise's base speed stat is, but I don't think it should be outspeeding Scizor. It might be 77, but who knows. He goes on to a Sableye again. Obviously, I'm predicting the Will-O-Wisp once again, so I go out in my Rotom, because my Rotom is a special attacker, and I have a little trick for you guys in just a second here. He's going to take some poison damage after getting leftovers, and I'm going to take some burn damage. Yeah, these animations take so long. And like I said, I have a little trick for you guys. So basically, by using Trick, whatever move your opponent uses after they receive the item, they are locked into. So now, that Sableye is locked into Foul Play. It cannot switch moves unless it switches out, which is great, because Sableye is a big annoyance. It's not something I would ever want to deal with if I don't have to. Sableye is a monster, especially only being weak to Fairy. It used to have no weaknesses at all before X and Y came along and changed the game, but it's not fun to deal with. Prankster Recover, Prankster Will-O-Wisp, Prankster Confuse Ray. It is not fun to deal with, folks. Let me tell you. But he goes on to Haxorus here. I now have leftovers, so I am free to switch moves. I'm allowed to do what I want, whenever I want. This Haxorus did have a Lumberry before, which cured its poison, but it switched back in. I'm actually going to go for a Leaf Storm here, trying to hit the Sableye while it was in and just kill it that much faster, but he decided to switch out and be that guy, which is rather unfortunate. And I know I said I was going to speed some parts up, but really, these have all just been plays. There's really been no stall. So sorry if I disappointed you, but anyways, it's gonna go back on to Sableye. Obviously, I'm sorry, guys. I can't talk. Obviously, that is his last Pokemon. I went for Thunder. Obviously, no, I went for Leaf Storm there, and was unable to hit the Sableye, which is unfortunate because I really would have liked to hit that thing. Now, all I have left is my Scizor, and that thing is locked into Foul Play, which is not good for me because that Foul Play can do a lot of damage to me. I'm going to go for Roost here because I know there's nothing I can hit it with that will kill it from where it's at, so I have to kind of play the waiting game with the Toxic Stall. He's going to go for Foul Play. It's not doing as much damage as I'm healing. Granted, it's very, very low. It's still, you know, something. So I'm just going to keep roosting until this thing is low enough for me to kill it so I can have a guaranteed KO. And even if the Sableye were to crit me, it wouldn't kill me. Now, it would screw me over a little bit, but it would not kill me, which is great because crits only do 1.5 now and not 2 times, which is great. So I probably could have killed with Bullet Punch from there, but I was not sure if this Sableye was defensive or specially defensive. And even then, with that thing having, you know, high HP investment, it can still be a monster. So here, I could have went for Bullet Punch and just ended it nice and quietly, but I had to be that guy and go for the Roost and just, you know, say, haha, I beat you. Because, haha, I beat you. So, it was a good game, Stardust. I had a lot of fun during that match. It was that last part right there where I was just roosting for fun was fun. So, I enjoyed it. You had some very good plays. It came down to the wire. Unfortunately, it was checkmate when I tricked you with the choice specs, pretty much rendering your Sableye useless. But that's my plan all along when I saw that Sableye was get Rotom in, give it specs, and go from there. Now, the Toxic Spikes were not my first option, considering I thought that he would lead off with Sableye, which he did. But, you know, it ended up working out. I didn't get taunted. He didn't use Defog. And, you know, it helps. Hazards help. Toxic Spikes aren't used very much, in OU at least. I don't know too much about the other tiers. But Toxic Spikes aren't used very often. And if you noticed, when he switched his Weezing in, the Toxic Spikes did not disappear, and that's because that thing does not actually touch the ground. It has Levitate. So, if you think you have coverage, a lot of people will not necessarily always bring a Rapid Spinner if they don't need to, but a lot of people will make sure that they have a Poison type to get rid of Toxic Spikes if they, you know, if they feel that is an issue. But if you're bringing a Poison type that is flying and or has Levitate, you're out of luck because they will not clear the Toxic Spikes. Obviously, his best options would have been to save Weezing as long as he could for Will-O-Wisps, save Sableye, and be very careful around Rotoms because Rotoms do tend to carry Trick, at least everything but Rotom Wash. I have yet to really see Rotom Wash with, you know, Choice Scarf Trick sets this gen. They were pretty prevalent last gen, but I haven't really seen too many this gen, so that's good for me because I don't have to worry about that. But I really wish Honchkrow would have been able to make more of an appearance, but, you know, we'll get one with him later. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be streaming tonight at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/HaydenMadeHim. So be there. Be square. Peace out.